It is General Leia Organa Saturday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. This morning we're going to play with the latest iteration of, one moment, gotta push the right button in the right sequence. Let's see here. Okay, let's try that again. This morning, let us explore 4 verses of Yongjie Xuanjui's Song of Enlightenment, translated by Red Pine, adapted and amplified by yours truly. Please chant with me. This Buddha nature is like a precious jewel with inexhaustible uses. It never withholds its help or response. The 3 bodies which are metaphors for the mastery of awareness and release, bliss and release, as well as love and release. And the 4 insights that the circumstantial, physical, interpersonal, and mental are appearing yet void, sensual yet void, resounding yet void, as well as lucid yet void, are all present within. The 8 freedoms from circumstances and auspicious to the mastery of the Buddha's teachings, and the 6 powers of the course 5 senses. And the 6 powers of the body's 5 senses, as well as the mind's emotions, intentions, cognitions, recollections, and imaginings all mark the mind. So, this is going to make more sense once we turn to the meditation instruction, so I can actually use the, what's it called? Visual aids. So to do that, I'm going to turn to the latest iteration of the Easy Meditation Practice Text. Please chant with me. Whatever comes, may all beings let it come. Whatever stays, may all beings let it stay. Whatever goes, may all beings let it go. Welcome to this morning's first quarter of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of 5 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's see, let's check the time. We could multiply this by 8 sets to give us a total of 96 inhalations. We could keep track of those 8 sets upon our left hand, 1, 2, hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each. To keep track of this, the first quarter of this morning's practice, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger, upon the tip of our left little finger, palms up in our lap. Oopsie, wrong button. Doing so could gently invite the real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. So, what do we mean by Buddha nature? Buddha nature is just a charming, Iron Age turn of phrase that answers the question, is there a physiological underpinning or scaffolding that supports the practice, no less mastery, of the Buddha's path? And the answer is yes. Yes, there is. When we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, the sympathetic nervous system, ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord, helps us to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. This is called mindfulness. When we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, the parasympathetic nervous system, divided between the lower third and the upper third of our spinal cord, helps to support the physical relaxation and mental release that causes what we noticed during our previous inhalation to fleetingly feel less tantalizing, less permanent, and less defining. This is what we call meditation. An effortless and uncontrived fringe benefit of regularly playing with mindfulness and meditation is the stimulation of our anterior cingulate gyrus, which functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy, the root of compassion and love. What is the physical scaffolding that makes possible the practice, no less mastery, of the Buddha's Eightfold Path? The sympathetic nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, and the it's several pages away, and the anterior cingulate gyrus. So what was inferred in that text was, in the 13th verse of the Song of Enlightenment, is that simply by playing with mindfulness and meditation every 12 hours or so, we set ourselves up to effortlessly experience the mastery of the remaining 6 folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path, including the deep familiarization with the literal impermanence that supports letting go, which is known as the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path, as well as kind intention, kind communication, kind conduct, and commerce that is as cooperative and kind And as an additional fringe benefit, silently, and the more we play with mindfulness and meditation, the more we observe our choices, utterances, and deeds flowing from the effortless from the effortless effort of love's centered spontaneity, which should not be confused with the scattered spontaneity we could experience after our fourth espresso, but the centered spontaneity that flows from mindfulness and meditation. So let's tie this up in a big red bow. The regular and enthusiastic and correct practice of mindfulness and meditation, spiritually speaking, is one-stop shopping. For every healthy adult whose sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system, as well as anterior cingulate gyrus is healthy. Bearing this in mind, together as a team, let us train in mindfulness meditation right now. Welcome to the 14th verse of Yongjie Xuanjui's Song of Enlightenment. If you have mastered the pronunciation of Mandarin Chinese, I apologize for any mispronunciations on my part. I mean no disrespect. I'm going to have to do some editing. Please bear with me. Let's chant. Gifted people grasp everything concerning the way at once. Lesser minds hear but are not enthusiastic. Okay, together let's chant. Gifted people grasp everything concerning the way at once. Lesser minds hear but are not enthusiastic. Thinking of taking off the dirty clothes of superficial change. One moment. Thinking of a so-called spiritual path that is as superficial as taking off one's dirty clothes. They dare claim they are making progress. This, of course, reminds me of Einstein's quip that great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from lesser minds. How do I get there from here? Because lesser minds are concerned with the path of being rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel, whereas great spirits are concerned with being flexible, loving, rational, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. So I'm going to tap button 9. Welcome to the second quarter of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Multiply this by 4 sets, and you've got 48 inhalations. We could keep track of those 4 sets on our left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations each. To keep track of this, the second quarter of this morning's practice, we could rest the great knuckle of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite the real or imagined subtle energies. Let's try this again. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the, what's it called? In the navel region of our mid-abdomen. By way of review, what is the key to mindfulness? To silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, thus cooperating with our sympathetic nervous system in a way that supports us in vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly noticing mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. But what do we do with that which we notice? That takes us to meditation. How do we practice that? Every time we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we cooperate with our parasympathetic nervous system in such a way that supports the physical relaxation and mental release necessary for our experience of what we noticed during our previous inhalation to feel far less graspable and controlling. Let's dig right in. Let us return to Yongjie Xuanjui's Song of Enlightenment, specifically, oopsie, wrong button, specifically the 15th verse. And there's going to have to be some editing. Let people mock, and others speak well of the Buddha's quick path. Let them. Tire themselves out. Trying to burn the sky in vain. Hearing their words is like tasting sweet dew. I swallow and suddenly enter the inconceivable. So that's odd. Well, that is just so weird. Words being weird. It must be a Saturday. Okay, so take it from the top, kids. Let people mock another speaker of the Buddha's quick path. Let them tire themselves out trying to burn the sky in vain. Hearing their words is like tasting sweet dew. I swallow and suddenly enter the inconceivable. So, as kids, every child knows the torment of sitting down to a dinner with vegetables prepared in a way that we don't find flavorful, and an angry parent demanding that we chew them up and swallow them. We might feel as instinct to rail against those who see things different than we do. We might feel the instinct to lash out and say cruel things in an effort to own the opposition, which is petty and cruel. If we can practice the awareness to notice what's going on externally as well as internally, and then physically relax into our exhalation, into what we perceive externally, into the strong impulses we feel internally, though they remain, they will control, as we relax into their non-graspable nature, they will control our choices, utterances, and deeds less and less and less. Let us return to the practice text. Welcome to the third quarter of mindful crease counting meditation. So at this point, you probably already know how to count to 48 inhalations on just 8 fingers and 2 thumbs. If you don't, I will happily explain it to you. Just tell me in the chat window. However, it could be useful if I reminded you that a great way to keep track of this third quarter would be to rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the heart region of our chest. By way of review, when we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, let's rephrase this. Silently and mentally reciting the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation helps us to notice in a manner described as mindfulness. Silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation helps us to release in a manner known as meditation. We return to this early morning's final verse of our final selection from Yong Jia Xuan Jui's Song of Enlightenment. In hateful words, I see a chance for merit. They have become my closest advisors. Not letting ridicule make enemy of friends. I show the power of accepting that nothing is born. In the hateful words of sectarianism, I see a chance for merit. In the hateful woods of sectarianism, I see a chance to generate the good karma that comes from flowing with inhalations, awareness, and exhalations release. The difficulties that drive me to practice mindfulness and meditation have become the difficulties that drive me to practice mindfulness and meditation function as my closest advisors. Not letting ridicule make enemies of friends. All right, here we go. Let's take it from the top. In the hateful woods of sectarianism, I see a chance to generate the good karma that comes from flowing with inhalations, awareness, and exhalations release. The difficulties that drive me to practice mindfulness and meditation function as my closest advisors. Not letting ridicule... Oopsie. Excuse me. Oh boy. Not letting ridicule make enemies of friends. I show the power of accepting that as I relax into the exhalation. All that I notice during the inhalation could now feel as non-graspable as if it had never been born. All right. We conclude with the fourth quarter of this. We conclude with this early morning's fourth quarter of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Multiply this by 4 sets, and you've got 48 inhalations. We could count these 4 sets upon our left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations each. To keep track of this, or the final quarter of this early morning's practice, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger. Let's try that again. Take 2. We could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger, upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce at the crown region of our head. Let us review. As we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we find it easier to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice the antics of mind. Mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination, known as mindfulness. As we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we find it easier to physically relax and mentally release what we noticed during our previous inhalation, a process described as meditation. Together as a team, let us practice together right now. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 9 2/3 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's evening meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.